On June 6, 2022, Angel tweeted, "New word, slurrrrrrr, when you're giving slay and purrrr." This is the Museum of Twitter, the show where we talk about the most important tweets in the history of Twitter.com. I've talked before about tweets that are enhanced by having "this tweet has been deleted" in the screenshot under the tweet, and this is definitely in the pantheon of those tweets. Because boy is this enhanced by thinking about how Angel realized what she said and had to delete it. Because she thinks she came up with a new slang word, but she didn't come up with a new slang word. Her word is slurrrrrrr, which she thinks is a combination of slay and purr, which are both slang words in themselves. Slay, of course, being used to describe something cool, like when you're killing it, and purr I was not familiar with, to be honest, but apparently it's a shortened version of period. So slur in her eyes is a combination of like, yeah, you're slaying, period. But her problem is that slur is already a word. Slur is, of course, a word for racist, sexist, homophobic words, epithets. It's just not at all a word that you want to throw around. But Angel wasn't thinking about this. She just thought that she invented the best new portmanteau. Now, Nia here is right about what's going on here. This is just a case of non-black people trying to use AAV, as in African-American vernacular English. Because it definitely feels like Angel is playing with forces she doesn't understand. The words slay and purr were certainly being used by black people, and frankly, black gay people, for much longer than Angel had ever been aware of them. And if they were meant to be combined into slur, it would have been combined already. But, as should surprise nobody, the main impact of this tweet is people sort of ironically taking on the word slur. Like the tweet that Nia quoted is Vane saying, "Pride Month." Or Mate said, "We dropping slurs all summer 2023, baby." Charlie says, "They thought I had a stroke the way I be slurring." And Max Nation Supreme Leader said, "This tweet destroyed me. I say this all the time now." And I don't know if you guys know this, but saying slur at people with no additional context is like not a normal thing to do. Gene captioned a photo of themselves with slay and purr equals slur. Todd Delicious quote tweeted a pop-based tweet about the Fleetwood Mac album Rumors with "this album cover, slur." A thing I have to commend the gay community for is that there's almost nothing they won't appropriate in a fun way. Angel thought that slur was going to be the new hot slang word, and ultimately she ended up being right for some people who are brain-rotted by Twitter. I do love how many quote tweets this got before she deleted it, because that means that she really had to think about deleting it. If it was just one or two quote tweets, it was like, oh, someone told her what she did and she deleted it. But 680 quote tweets means that 680 people told her, "Hey, Angel, slur is not what you think it means." And it took 680 of them for her to be like, yeah, I probably should delete this. 679 wasn't enough. Now, Grayson thinks that they can outdo Angel. They say, "I've been on this. Next is slurv, slay/purr/serve." Now, this is not a bad word, but it is the name for a baseball pitch, a slider and a curve, so it's also already taken. But my favorite thing I found out doing research for this episode is from Parker Posey's Emmy campaign manager. They say, "This is my favorite Ithaca College Twitter moment. It's even better than the Peppa Pig incident. I'll never not take a moment to reflect and retweet when it comes back up." Now, there are some things that longtime viewers of the show know about me. I have a twin brother, I have celiac disease, and I love local color. I love knowing that this tweet is specifically famous among people who went to Ithaca College, which is a small liberal arts college in Ithaca, New York. But if you're anything like me, and you see this tweet, your first question is, what is the Peppa Pig incident? And I have absolutely awful news, friends. Nothing comes up when I Google it, and when I look it up on Twitter, I barely find anything. But I do find evidence that it happened, and I think it happened in 2019. I found this tweet from Jake Brown in May of 2020 that said, "Ithaca College doomed the 19 to 20 academic year with that whole Peppa Pig doll nonsense at the beginning." Interesting. It's a Peppa Pig doll. That adds a lot of layers. And the reason I know it happened in 2019 is Carly in the Void said, "Hearing all about this Peppa Pig madness back in Ithaca is sending me." And those are the only other tweets I can find that include both the word Ithaca and Peppa. So I know that I've gotten off track from the whole slur thing, but if you went to Ithaca College, if you have information on this, please, my DMs are open on basically every social media site. I need to know what the Peppa Pig incident was. I won't make an episode about it. I won't make any content from it. I just need to know. I know that this is a very deep tangent, but honestly, there's not much to say about this tweet. It's funny for exactly the reason it's funny for the first second you see it. And don't get me wrong, it's incredibly funny. And it's good advice to workshop any new slang you try to come up with. Or just don't try to come up with slang at all unless you're like a really cool person. Follow me for a new tweet every day, and please consider joining my Patreon, patreon.com/museum of Twitter, where you get access to my Discord, where you can vote on what I cover on Subscriber Sundays, and you get a weekly bonus episode called the Museum of Not Twitter.